Namo Namaha. Welcome everyone to this kind of quick emergency Bitcoin video through the lens of both Vedic and Western astrology. And today I'm going to give you just a very short kind of synopsis of where I think Bitcoin is going, both in the very near and the very long term. So if you've kept up with my videos, you know that for the last couple of months, I've been waiting for the last week of July for Bitcoin to pump, and we're in it now. And of course, Bitcoin is pumping, so I'm grateful for that. And some of you wanted some more precise or some more guidance on kind of where it's going to go from here. So let's just go ahead and dive right in and look at that. And for this, I'm going to use a Western transit technique. Now you might be saying, I thought you're a Vedic astrologer, Simon. Well, you know, like with healing, I may be an Ayurvedic healer, but I may also do adjustments, which is chiropractic, right? A more Western, a different type of technique. And if you need an adjustment, that's the proper technique. That's part of Ayurveda. So astrology is astrology. Each of the tropical astrology has its own inherent techniques that work very well, and Vedic astrology has its own techniques that work phenomenally as well. So, but I think the tropical circular chart makes this more clear right now. So let's dive in. And if you're a Vedic astrologer and you're like looking at this going, oh, I don't know what the heck's going on here, just don't worry. I'm going to guide you and just pay attention to a couple of things. This circle on the outside is the planets in the sky right now. The circle on the inside is Bitcoin's natal chart. So you can see, so what I've been waiting for is Jupiter's, and I said this in the last video, if you guys watch, Jupiter to come and touch the natal Venus of Bitcoin. On the way up, as it passed it, nothing happened. A lot of people were expecting, I didn't think anything would happen, partly because the circumstances were really bad. There was a lot of other stuff going on. All that shenanigans is over. And now Jupiter returning back to this position is having an effect, because there's a principle in astrology that says, if nothing else is getting in the way, a planet will have its influence, the expected influence. So Jupiter is a benefic, it's creating a benefic effect here. So in the last video, I said, look, around the 25th of July, Jupiter is going to be exactly conjunct. That's when we can expect some good things if this chart holds up. And so far, that's holding up. So you can see this is the 24th. If we go forward one day, 25th, you see also the moon would be conjunct. So I thought the 25th would be good. And we did see Jupiter is 0016, Venus is 0015, the exact conjunction. And we did have a nice pump. Now, Bitcoin is retracing. So let's kind of take a look here. So you can see Bitcoin had a nice shoot up on the 25th. Today's the 26th. It's gone even higher. And now it's retraced back to this moving average here, the 25-day. So the question is, what's going on? Where's it going to go from here? Okay. So I'm going to tell you what I think in this very near term, and also give you a little bit of a future outlook. So let's just go back to this chart. So if I progress this, or rather push this forward, progress is something else. You could see that Jupiter on the 27th is still conjunct Venus. On the 28th, still conjunct, still at 0 degrees. But on the 29th, on the 28th, 9 p.m. Edinburgh time, Central, what do you call it? GMT, or British Standard Time, I should say. It's not GMT. Jupiter will go into 29 degrees. Now, in Vedic astrology, it's in a different position, but in tropical, it actually changes signs. And that is significant because this conjunction is weakened. According to the rules of tropical astrology, as I have learned them from some master tropical astrologers, when the planets change signs but are still in orb, the conjunction is weakened. Okay, so I expect July 28th some weakening of this positive effect to happen. So that's basically a day and a half from now, I expect this to kind of calm down, to begin to become open to some retracement if there are negative things. Well, what would be the negative things? One of them is Saturn is reversing, going retrograde, about to touch the 7th cusp of the Bitcoin chart. That typically is not good. So let's see when Saturn actually does that, when he goes exactly right. That's August 5th, okay? Saturn is conjunct this cusp. But before then, Saturn will happen to be in an opposition to the Sun on August 2nd. Sun-Saturn oppositions typically aren't great. It's a very temporary thing, but it creates volatility, creates stress in the chart. And stress can lead people to sell, to buy, to get angry, there's some anger there, unresolved issues. So that's August 2nd. Then August 5th, Saturn conjuncts the 7th cusp. So the first week of August looks a little volatile. And that's exacerbated by the fact that on August 1st, we have Mercury will be completely combust and it will go Cazimi, actually. Now, Cazimi is actually positive for, and let me tell you exactly, yeah, so August 1st, around 6 p.m. here, Mercury is Cazimi while the Sun is opposite Saturn, while Saturn's conjunct the 7th cusp. So a lot of stuff going on. What does that all mean? What does it mean for the price? Well, and Jupiter is leaving this conjunction. So I think the first few days, the first week of August, there's going to be some volatility. That'll give you a chance, to maybe pick up Bitcoin again as it dips down. But overall, the long term is a very positive. My long term sort of outlook for Bitcoin, and you can see this volatility is already happening. Bitcoin went up to 40K. It's down to 37.5, which has dropped. But I do think, and today's the 26th, I think we have another day or two of pumplitude before more volatility begins. Again, that's if this idea plays out. We're a lot of astrology is, the astrology that I like to rely on is called Prashna, which is horary astrology, because with that, you don't need the birth chart you don't need anything else. You just need a solid question. And I love Prashna because it doesn't require anything but the true desire to know. Here, I'm relying on the putative chart of Bitcoin. And the problem is there are many such charts, and this is one of them that seems to work pretty well. So I'm following this idea. The predictions we made from Prashna tend to be more precise. Those are the predictions that, hey, the last week of July is going to be hot, 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 exciting. That's when the magic happens. And it's been the case. And the overall trend of Bitcoin. So I'm still relying on that, but I'm bringing in this chart. So let's see if this idea plays out. I think it will play out, but let's see what happens. I'm open to being wrong. Now, so what does that mean for our big kind of predictions? In our crypto questions answered class, we've discussed this already. I think, generally speaking, Bitcoin will have its local top January through April 15th, meaning this bull run will kind of come to an end. We've already talked about first week of August being volatile. And here's the big deal. I do think we will have a new all-time high before end of year 2021. That's this year. So if you're just holding on to Bitcoin, don't worry about any of this. Just hold on through whatever volatility there is first week of August. I think, dip or not, I think we're going to all-time highs. So that's a little bit of a look at what's happening with Bitcoin from the perspective of transits. Really, it's not even tropical astrology, just transits. Saturn transiting the 7th cusp, Jupiter transiting Bitcoin's Venus, this opposition going on here. There's always always a lot to look at. But I think that's the big picture. So if you've been with us, we've also covered new coins. I'm going back into our coin recommendations in the crypto questions answered class, and you know, seeing who's going to be the next 10, 20, 30, 40, 50x, because there is still room for that, especially with this dip we've just had. There is room for coins to go to, you know, to those levels to where they could 20, 30, 40, 50x. And that's a good thing for those of you who haven't got on the bandwagon, on the crypto bandwagon yet. There is still time. All right. So as you can see, as I move these planets, these effects are temporary. So by August 5th, 6th, you know, they're August 5th, this is mostly over, but then Saturn will conjunct here on August 5th, the 7th cusp. So we want that to kind of go away. But overall, still bullish, and let's see what happens. Let's see if we get those all-time highs, both for Ethereum and for Bitcoin before the end of the year. All right, that's it. That's it out of me. I said this would be short, and hopefully it was short. Sorry about the audio and the headphones. I didn't have time to get my mic going. But I hope this was useful, and we'll see you in the next one. Namaste.